Now you know that you should go plant-based, or you've heard lots of stuff about why you should go plant-based. There's lots of reasons. How do you do it? So we talked a little bit about how you can, some of the strategies, but today we're going to dig in even deeper to plant-based essentials. How do you make food? That's the question. So today we are going to talk and do a little bit of a replay on why plant-based is a good choice, and then we are going to dig into some strategies that you can use to make some food that tastes great, and you will be able to move into that transition to a plant-based lifestyle. All right, shall we get started? I'm going to start with a beautiful quote that it's not my first time to say this quote, but I really like it. So Anne Wigmore was the founder of the, all right, having, all right, little technical difficulties again today. Shall we go? All right. We're gotta watch that. We are looking at this quote from Anne Wigmore, who was the founder of the Hippocrates Diet and Health Program. And her quote was, "The food you eat can be either the safest and most powerful form of medicine or the slowest form of poison." And for me, that's a good reason to look at a whole food plant based lifestyle, because that is where, as Hippocrates himself said, let thy food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. And so when we are eating whole food plant based, this is going to be food that is going to help us heal our body. And if you missed it, we did a session yesterday on diabetes, and we had a couple of case studies of people who have actually been able to not just uh, improve their quality of life and prevent the disease from progressing, but to actually reverse it. So if you are interested in reversing diabetes or any other diseases, this is going to be a way that you can help your body by giving it all the nutrients you need. So why whole food plant based? This is our essentials on whole food plant based foods. So the foods that are going to help you to thrive are real food. And that's it. Real food, period. It's whole food, plant based, no added oils, like vegetable oils or anything like that. The only exception might be a little bit, a very small amount of olive oil or flaxseed oil, but all of the seed oils like rapeseed and corn oil and canola oil and those vegetable oils are all processed, and they have no value to them other than they can add lots of calories. And yeah, they add some taste to it, but they're not giving us any nutrition. And then we should be eating a variety of plants for the best results. And you should aim for eating 30 or more different plants per week. So it's all about variety. And why is that? Because when we're eating one particular plant may have certain nutrients in it. And if you're only eating that plant or that food, let's say if you picked green beans, if you're only eating green beans, you're only getting the nutrients that are found in green beans. But if you had other vegetables like romaine lettuce and kale and broccoli and all of those other ones, you would get a variety of nutrients that will help your body to be as nutrient. It's all nutrient about being nutrient dense and adding all those great nutrients that are medicine for our body. And what kind of foods should you eat? Start with some berries and fruit. Also beans and legumes. So this is going to include chickpeas, lentils. This is going to be like kidney beans, pinto beans, black beans, lima or butter beans. There's all sorts of different types of legumes and beans. Then there is our greens. So leafy greens are really important. So you should try to get some leafy greens in every day. There's a recommendation to have a big salad at least once a day. And we're going to talk a little bit more about how you can do some of that. Your other veggies besides those green leafies and onions are really good. And so is garlic. So they are also on there. I know they're veggies, but they're kind of called out because they have a lot of anti-inflammatory and immune support properties. Now, there is mushrooms as well. And think about mushrooms. They're really not a vegetable like we think they are. They're actually a fungus. And one of the things that you will hear is that you should have some raw veggies because our raw vegetables and fruits have enzymes in them, digestive enzymes. But when we cook them, we're going to, some of those enzymes are destroyed. And so we should have some raw food if we can digest it. But with mushrooms, you actually are improving and enhancing their nutrient qualities by cooking them. So with mushrooms, you can eat them raw, but you can eat them cooked as well. And probably that's the way to get the most nutrients out of your mushrooms. And then there's nuts and seeds, and they have our omega-3 fatty acids in them. And this is where you can get your oil from. And we need fat in our, so we need the carbohydrates, we need the protein, and we need the fat in our diet. But we want to get healthy fat and not the vegetable oils that are just basically going to be going straight to into your body. There's no digestion required. With nuts and seeds and those healthy fats, so avocados is another one, we are actually have to digest the food. And so first of all, not all of the oil and the fat is getting into our bloodstream. Some of it will be waste that goes out the other end, but also it's slower to digest. So our body has more time to assimilate and absorb our fat into the body when we are using whole foods. And then there is grains as well. So this is typically we want to look at whole grains. So quinoa is good. Brown rice, there's black rice, which is one of my favorite. It's also called forbidden rice. I didn't even know what that was until I took my raw food chef course, and it is delicious. It's got such a great nutty flavor, and it's got lots of antioxidants. It's got a purpley black color and full of great nutrients because of that. All right. So why do we want to eat our plants? We've been talking about this in different forms. They're low in saturated fats. They are free from cholesterol when you're eating your plant-based. packed with vitamins and minerals, and then there's the enzymes if you're eating them raw, and phytochemicals and fiber. And I just want to do a little shout out for our phytochemicals because we never really talk about them. And so phytochemicals are actually natural compounds that are found in plants, and they do have various health benefits. So the phytochemicals are responsible for the color, the flavor, and the smell of our plant foods, and they play a role in protecting plants from environmental hazards. So some of the phytochemicals you may have heard before by name are carotenoids, flavonoids, um, um, saponins, phytoestrogens, and so that's in soy products and flaxseed. And there's been this, I guess, uh, myth or that tofu and soy products have estrogen in them, and therefore a lot of, especially men, want to stay away from them. But it's not the estrogen, it's actually phytoestrogens. They can mimic or modulate the body's estrogen levels, but they also are good at protecting against certain cancers. And then for health benefits, they have antioxidant properties, anti-inflammatory effects. They can help with cancer prevention, heart health, and they support our immune system. And so all of the phytochemicals are actually found in fruits and vegetables and legumes, nuts, seeds, and our whole grains, which is exactly what we talked about as the plant-based foods that we should be eating. All right. And what are the benefits? Well, we talk about this a lot. It can reduce our risk for heart disease and stroke, lower our blood pressure and cholesterol levels. It lowers our risk for mental illness, which would be anxiety, depression, dementia, and Alzheimer's. We can better control our blood sugar levels. And as we saw yesterday in our little video, within a very short period of time, Eric Adams, who is the mayor of New York, was able to reverse his diabetes and lower his cholesterol levels and a lot of different things that had kind of side effects from his diabetes. And it helps with healthy weight management. So we don't need to be counting calories and depriving ourselves if we are eating a whole food plant-based lifestyle without the added fats like the processed fats and processed foods and animal products. You can eat till you're satisfied, and you will get to whatever that healthy weight is for your body. And it also helps to lower your cancer risk. So lots of benefits that we get from our plant-based foods. It's also gut health friendly. So what do we need for gut health is fiber, fiber, fiber. The fiber is the prebiotics that actually feeds the microorganisms in our gut. And so we feed the good microorganisms, and then we'll have less of the bad ones. There's also the probiotics, which we can get in fermented foods. And really, if you've got a good gut health, you really don't need to be taking a probiotic. You should be able to get all of your microorganisms, which are in your system, and keep them healthy by eating a plant-based lifestyle. Get that fiber into you, and not fiber gummies, please. All right. The plant foods are rich in the vitamins and minerals, and the digestive enzymes, which we get from our raw foods as well, help our gut. And This is a quote from Will Bulsevich, who is a a gastroenterologist or gut doctor. And he said that the single greatest predictor of a healthy gut microbiome is the diversity of plants in one's diet. So if you want to have a healthy gut microbiome, eat more plants and a variety. Eat the rainbow. Probably heard that before. So I want to just talk about 3 strategies to introduce whole food, plant-based foods into your lifestyle. And we talked yesterday that you could do all or none, or you can do a slow transition. And I thought about that last night a little bit. And I would have to say, if you are, like Eric Adams, where you have a chronic disease, in his case, he was told by his doctor he should not be driving and he should turn in his license because his eyesight had deteriorated so badly. And so if you're in that situation where you are trying to reverse a chronic disease or bring your body back into better health, then you probably want to go all in. And if you are just looking for prevention, then you could take the slower route for sure. But let's talk about how you can add more plants to your lifestyle. So there's 3 ways that you can do it. Well, there's more than 3 ways, but you could do smoothies, you could do bowls, and you could actually take your family favorites that you have now and reinvent them in a plant-based form. So those are 3 things that you can do. And you don't have to have big cooking skills. You definitely do need to do some cooking, and I am going to guess that it will take a bit more time for you. But I guess the question is that investment in your time worth your health? And for me, it is. And everybody has to decide for themselves if it's worth the time. All right. We've done videos on smoothies, so I'm not going to go into any detail on smoothies. I will say that smoothies are great because they're nutrient dense. And we're talking green smoothies. We're not talking like something that has fruit and ice cream in it and turned into a smoothie, or powdered mixes turned into a smoothie. We're talking real whole foods that we're going to just throw in the blender and blend up. They're nutrient dense, loads of health benefits, easy to digest. They promote hydration. They have fiber in them because all the fiber in those plants are still in the liquid. They're just ground up through the blending. They're very easy to make and convenient. They can help with weight management. You can have as many different combinations of smoothie as you are willing to think on the about. There's lots of different things you could do. And if you are, they also have, because of the fiber, they help with your gut health. And the little QR code here, if you click on that QR code, you can, that'll take you to one of the videos that we did on smoothies and give you more information on why smoothies and how to actually make your own green smoothies at home. Now, bowls. This is, I think, one of my favorites because it's easy. Oh, let's go to the next page. Why would we do bowls? They are really easy to make. They are also nutrient dense, lots of health benefits with the plant-based foods. They're high in fiber, low in saturated fats. They can help with weight management. Again, stop counting calories. Eat your bowls for your lunch and your dinner, and eat till you're satisfied. Do not deprive yourself, and it will help you to get to a healthy weight, whatever that is for you. It will reduce your risk of chronic disease, and they are also versatile. There's lots of different ways you can make bowls. All right. So here's a little guide to create your own bowl. So you can start with a whole grain. So this could be brown rice, black rice, there's red rice, quinoa, soba noodles, whole wheat pastas. So find yourself a whole grain. Don't put too much compared to everything else. And I'm going to show you some idea on proportions, but you can do that. And it's so easy. If you have a rice cooker, you can throw your cup of brown rice, 2 cups of water into your rice cooker, set it and forget it, and come back and it'll be made and ready to go. The only thing with the brown rice and the black rice, they do take longer than white rice. So you do have to plan a bit because it's going to take a bit of time. I think about 45 minutes to cook the rice. So you got to give yourself some time. Add in your veggies, so leafy greens, some sweet potato, some regular potato. There's nothing wrong with the good old-fashioned potato. They are actually good for you, and we recommend that you actually eat them every day because they are actually as close to a complete nutrient or complete food that we have. And they taste, I don't know, to me, they taste good. There's butternut squash, all sorts of different squashes. And what you can do, you don't have to do any fuss or muss. You can actually put the squash or the sweet potato or the regular potato in the oven, for the potatoes, wash them so that the skin is clean and eat the skin because there's lots of nutrients there. But for butternut squash, I just put it in the oven as it is and bake it on 350 for, I don't know, about 45 minutes to an hour till it's all soft. And then I can cut it up and take out all of the flesh. And I've got all sorts of butternut squash to last me probably a week. Red cabbage is really good as well. Broccoli, cauliflower. There's Brussels sprouts, kale, spinach, endive, cucumbers, tomatoes, asparagus. There's like tons of different vegetables. And then there's legumes, which are your chickpeas, lentils, kidney beans, black-eyed peas, black beans, pinto beans, lots of different beans and lentils and chickpeas, all of those things that you can make. And you could just buy a can, make sure that it's sodium free or no salt. That will help you for sure. Because we want to keep our salt levels down or sodium levels down. So make sure it's low or no sodium added, but you can just rinse them and you could heat them in the oven. You could put spices on them. You could just eat them cold and plain, however it suits you, depending, just throw them on your bowl. Add some flavor, some nuts and seeds and garnish. So you could do hemp hearts, pumpkin seeds, cashews, almonds. And I like to buy my nuts raw. And then, you can put them in the oven on 350 and just bake them for probably 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the nut. And when they start smelling really fragrant, they're ready. Be careful you don't burn them because that's my big thing is burning them. And then it just enhances the flavor and you've got your own roasted nuts on your own. You don't need to buy them roasted and no salt either. So buy them raw and then you can do them yourself. And there's lots of tricks on how you can use nuts, raw nuts in cooking and making nut milks and all sorts of things. Broccoli sprouts, any sprouts really, or microgreens. Sauerkraut is also good. It gives it a little tang. You can add onion, tomatoes, radishes, all sorts of nice garnishes, and then top it off with a tasty sauce. And I like to make sauces that I can just slather them on because that's the way I like to do it. You might not like it, but I love to slather it on. And I don't have any guilt about taking as much sauce as I need, make it tasty. You can make a vegan Caesar recipe, a ranch dressing. You can do oil-free vinaigrettes. You can do garlic, like a garlic sauce, curry dressing. I've got one of my favorites now is I call it my better than borscht dressing. And basically, if you know what borscht is, it's got beets and a little bit of apple. You've got dill, which is one of my favorites, and some garlic, and it is so tasty. You can add tomato sauce, gravy. I have a mushroom gravy that I make. You can add those. So whatever sauce fits your fancy, do tons of different bowls. And so here's kind of a little idea of what proportions you should look at. So half your plate should be leafy greens. And then you can add all sorts of garnishes to it or veggies to it. Some of my favorites are red and bell peppers, red cabbage, onion, carrots, and I buy my carrots shredded in the grocery store. I get them, they're shredded, so I just have to take a handful and put them on my salad. Then on your other side of your plate, you can have your baked potato and your whole grain, and then your cooked vegetables. Cook up some vegetables so that it gives it some warmth. Like a sweet potato or beets or carrots are really good for that. You can cook up some broccoli. Asparagus is in season right now, so cook some of those things up. And then slather on or lightly dress your bowl, depending on your taste. I have one of my kids does not like sauces, so we all put our own sauce on. And what I'll do, because I've got a family where everybody has different likes, not all the same. I will put all of the condiments, the veggies, and everything out, and then everybody can make their own bowl. It's kind of I call it my buffet bowl. And so it's really easy to make. You add your nuts here and your chickpeas or your beans to it, and you've got a great bowl. Tastes good too. So easy to make. And then my third kind of strategy is family favorites. And this one you can look at taking something that your family really likes, or maybe just you like, and turning it into a vegan delight. So I'm not going to show you this, so you can look online for recipes and stuff, but I'm just going to give you an idea. Whatever you were eating in your regular, you can make that into a vegan recipe. And it also could taste just as delicious as what you had in your Western or sad diet. All right. So some of the things, what are good about family favorites, they're inclusive. You can maybe even give it to your family and not say anything. That's one thing. They might not even know what they're missing. To be honest, that's a little bit what my parents, I did, not that I was tricking anybody, but when we went to visit them, we ate plant-based for the whole week we were there. And I made all sorts of different delicious dishes, and they loved it. It was actually gave them the inspiration to look at more plant-based cooking on their own. So, you never know. It's also familiar, definitely healthier than your standard American diet with the processed foods and the animal products. Higher in fiber likely and lower in saturated fats. It can help you reduce your risk of chronic disease and help with your weight management. And so some of the things you can do, if you like fajitas, have a portobello mushroom fajita. So easy to make. and just make it all in one pan, and it's delicious. Bean and lentil burgers. I've actually got a recipe that has pearl barley and millet in it, and it's really good. My daughter had some friends over, and when they came back the next time, they asked me to make the same burgers again. So that's the taste test when people ask for more. And then you can also make your own pizza. You can use a whole wheat crust, or you could, that would be preferred, or you could use like a cauliflower crust. I've heard of other kind of crust too, like zucchini and broccoli. But find it all. And you can make your own kind of vegan mozzarella cheese. If you want as well. Some people will just not put the cheese on it, but if you like your cheese, there is options that you can have cheese. You can make a lasagna. I like my lazy one-pan lasagna. That one is the one I like. I've made some really delicious vegetable lasagna. But I got to say, that's something that's a treat because that's pretty labor intensive, in my opinion. For the regular everyday, I like something quick and easy. And you could do mac and cheese. Yes, you can have mac and cheese as well. And I believe we have a video on that if you want to look that up too. All right, eat more plants, whole food, plant-based. It will give you more energy. It will reduce your risk of disease. And if you already have a chronic disease like diabetes or high blood pressure or heart disease, it can help you to reverse. And it doesn't take that long. It's something that, it doesn't take years. It takes weeks, not years. It can help you to lose weight, have more clarity, more mental clarity. There is clear scientific evidence on the benefits of a plant-based lifestyle. It's very simple, add more plants, but I know it's not always easy as well. I hope I inspired you for some easy ways you can do plant-based. And even if you're not going to go whole, start with some small changes like add a smoothie or a bowl or change up a family favorite. Maybe you do meatless Monday or plant-powered Fridays or both. You change your breakfast from that box cereal or granola or whatever. And nothing wrong with granola if it's homemade, but watch the stuff that you get in the cereal aisle probably is full of a lot of sugar and not that good for you. But you can do good granola. But, if you're doing that, change it to a smoothie or have a smoothie for a snack. And the green smoothie is very filling. All right. I'm going to just do, I had this already, the words of wisdom. Again, a quote, it's an ancient Chinese quote. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. You never know where it will take you, but just take the first step. And we are all human. Don't beat yourself up. You don't have to be perfect. You don't, this is not forever. And I know I hear this a lot. I could never give up my meat. Nobody is asking you to do that for your whole life. But for your health, if you can give it up and improve your health, you can follow the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, eat plant-based, and 20% you could eat other things and, that processed foods. But just be committed, be accountable. You don't need to do it alone. You can do it with someone else. Find a buddy or a community. We have a great community here. We're doing our 14-day Kickstart program. It's starting on Monday. You can join us for that. The link on how to join us and the information is in the description. And we would love to have you. And just do it now. Don't wait. Your health is important, and I want to see everybody healthy. That's my goal. All right. Any questions or comments?
I would love to get the recipe for that burger that your daughter's friends liked. If teenagers like it, I think I would probably like it.
All right. Okay, I can find that.
A lot of good information, Deb. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. I'll have to make that in the kitchen one day. I don't know if I'll make it tomorrow.
So cool. That would be cool. Some of these recipes, when you read them in cookbooks, can be very intimidating. So that would be wonderful.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you this recipe is intimidating. It took me a while to actually make it because there's a lot of ingredients. But once I made it, it's like, oh, it's not that bad. It's a lot of what happens in the plant-based cooking is a lot of the flavor when you're cooking with meat comes from the meat. But when you're plant-based, you don't have the flavor coming from the meat. And so you really need to use your spices for enhancing your flavors. And there's lots of different spices, and like you can use Dijon mustard and all sorts of different ways you can enhance the flavor. But you do need to make sure. And I find that I use more spices and more of them. Like instead of a little teaspoon, I use more like a tablespoon. Because you really want to make sure you're getting your flavor in. So the recipes can be daunting just because there might be 10 spices that they're asking you to add in, and it makes it very overwhelming. So I think sometimes it's good to make it because then you can see it's really not that bad, for sure. But stick with your bowls on the regular. I would say if you do bowls for like the weekdays and then you spend a little time on the weekends doing something else, or maybe have a takeout day we have takeout Friday. So that's our day to have, go wild, if you will. But the rest of the week, do some meal prep twice a week is all you need. And we're going to go through all that with the 14-day Kickstart. You just need to do meal prep twice a week. And then just put your bowls together, heat up your food, your cooked food. And there you've got a nice bowl. Do all your dressings at the beginning of the week, have a variety, and you will, it will be delicious for you. All right. On that note, tomorrow we're in the kitchen and we will probably be making some kind of bowl tomorrow in the kitchen. See you tomorrow.
Bye.